Hello everyone, I'm Vinay Vutukuru. I'm a Senior Agriculture Specialist in the World Bank Delhi office, and today I'm going to talk about how the cohort of rural livelihood projects are dealing with the complex issue of malnutrition in India. First of all, I don't talk about the scale of the issue that we are encountered with. If you look at India, 48% of the children under 5 are stunted. This is double the rate of stunting, say, in sub-Saharan Africa. So clearly, we're dealing with an issue which is large scale and it's extremely complex. And therefore, we're adopting multiple pathways to tackle this issue. So I'm going to describe the multiple pathways that we, through the livelihood projects, are actually following. But at the core of this approach is a strong foundation of women being mobilized into self-help groups and their federations. And we call them the institutions of the poor. These institutions of the poor, we invest a lot of capacity building on these institutions of the poor, and they really empower these women and enable them access, on one hand, to a range of financial services, on the other hand, to markets and the public sector, and also to the private sector. So this platform really offers a huge opportunity for the projects to leverage upon and do substantive work on tackling malnutrition. So the first pathway that I'm going to describe is about how we are using interventions, nutrition-sensitive agriculture interventions to tackle this issue. I'll quote two specific examples. One is in Bihar, where we're promoting backyard poultry in a big way, and nearly 50,000 households today are practicing backyard poultry, and there are double impact because of that. On one hand, they're able to get access to regular income, but secondly, we are clearly seeing that the consumption of meat and eggs is going up in these poorest communities. Similarly, in Odisha, we are promoting backyard vegetable cultivation. We call it kitchen gardening. And the idea is to use a small piece of land which is right adjacent to the house to grow a set of leafy vegetables and roots which provide critical micronutrients which can help the households overcome the nutrition problem. Common feature among these two interventions is that we are using the same farmer field school approach which is used for delivering extension services to deliver nutrition counseling services. So the idea is we use this kind of platform and deliver nutrition counseling to those households which are either doing backyard poultry or kitchen gardening. Now I want to move on and describe the second pathway that we're using. Here what we are trying to do is to really leverage upon the power of the collective voice and power of collective action that comes with these SHGs and their federations. Remember, I've described that there are 10 million women who have been federated into SHGs and their federations across the country in terms of the bank's outreach of projects. Now, what we're trying to do is ensure that these SHG federations are able to really interface with the public sector and ensure that the range of social safety nets and entitlement programs that are on offer by the government are being accessed by the households at the last mile. Remember, in a country like India, that is where the cutting edge, that is where the constraint is for these households to be able to access these entitlements. So these federations step in and ensure that they're able to really raise their voice and also proactively interact with the service delivery at the last mile to ensure that these services are delivered. The second example that I want to quote as part of this pathway is where we're leveraging the community institutions to do, use economies of scale and, ensure that the food and nutrition security is enhanced. One example that comes to mind is in Andhra Pradesh, the erstwhile undivided Andhra Pradesh, where community managed nutrition and daycare centers today have made a remarkable difference to the birth rate. External impact studies show that through this kind of an approach, the percentage of low birth weight has come down dramatically from 40% to just 5%. Here, what the women are doing is basically in convergence with government departments, they're ensuring that a range of services, health and nutrition counseling services, 3 meals a day, visit by the doctor, everything is combined and offered in a one-stop shop manner to the pregnant and lactating mothers and the under 5 children. So this is about the kind of efforts we are using as part of the second pathway. The third pathway which we're using is really using this institutional platforms to do very proactive health, nutrition and sanitation behavior change related counseling. And here we are partnering with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation across 4 states, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand and Odisha, to ensure that the vast SHG network that has been mobilized over the last 10 years is really used to ensure that, remember, these women meet once a week. So this time is being productively used to relay health, nutrition and sanitation messages to these women. So this is how we want to systematically bring about a change in the behavior across the health, nutrition and sanitation sectors. Lastly, I would want to talk about an innovative method which we want to try through the new projects that we have just now developed, the AP Rural Inclusive Growth Project and the Telangana Rural Inclusive Growth Project. There, we are really trying an enterprise approach to tackle the nutrition problem. Essentially, what we are trying to do is to ensure that the last mile grocery stores, where typically you have chips and Pepsi available, but locally nutritious food not being available, we really want to change that. So we are rebranding them, and we are counseling these grocery store owners and trying to ensure that we have locally made nutritious food available at these grocery stores. The idea is that households have the option to consume higher amounts of nutritious food through these grocery stores. So clearly we are trying to approach the problem from the market end. Clearly one needs to bear in mind that there are multiple routes one has to follow if we have to tackle this issue. And we are very hopeful that going forward in the next 6 to 7 years in India, we can make a significant dent on this nutrition problem through the approach that I have just described. Thank you.